3.
Meeting is being recorded.
All right, and welcome back, guys, to the Whine and Dyn Dynasty podcast. I'm one of the co-hosts here, Thomas. We got a good one for you. I'll hand it over to the commish first before we introduce our big guest of the day.
Your commissioner, Mike, and we're pulling in another Mike today. This is our league villain making his first appearance on the pod.
Happy to be here. I wasn't really invited the first few times. Call me the Big Dalt. It's good to be on. Hopefully I'm on in the future.
Good to have you, Dalt. And so today's video that we're doing is our top 10 Cornerstone ranking. Cornerstone for us is going to be viewed as any player under the age of 25. So if they're 25, then obviously they do not make the cut. I don't know if you want to give us a little background on how your seasons have turned out before we get into the top 10 rankings, but I know the people want to hear it.
So year one, injury plagued, hopeful. Year two, started off 0-5 in a gauntlet of a division, and then I started facing some cupcakes. Ran the table, made a terrible Lamar Jackson trade, was able to get to the semifinals. And then year three, gauntlet division, still ended up strong. Semifinals, just can't get over the hump, and just hoping that Jordan Love steps up next year and some of my other guys take a step forward. And we'll see. Hopefully I can get to the finals.
Semifinals, a.k.a. fourth place, both times. No money.
No money.
Tough.
The participation league, that's all we got. Third place is a money in this league. It's ridiculous.
All right. And Dalt, we will kick it off with you first. Give us your number 10 spot on the list here for you.
My number 10, I'm going to go Caleb Williams had 10, I think. What are our thoughts?
Immediately have an agreement here. I went with Caleb 10. I was on the fence with him and a couple other guys, and the QB factor in our Superflex league pushed me over the top.
For sure.
I also have Caleb at the 10.
And Ben Johnson coming on board. They got some guys there. Hopefully they can kind of turn it around.
I was going to say, I think he's a big beneficiary. New coaching, still has some good weapons. Rome could be taking another step year two, but I'm big on the QBs, and Caleb can still run. He slings the ball. I think they should have a better year this year, and I think the coaching change will be a big help for him.
And even in what wasn't a great year for him, it's not like you're looking at a terrible season. He still had good production, was a top 16 QB in our PPR, and for that to be a 10, 15-year commitment probably to a player, that's a good cornerstone pickup.
With the disaster of a coaching staff, too, last year. They were terrible. So, awful O-line play. He had moments, so it'll be interesting how he does with Johnson now.
All right, that's with number 9.
Me?
Oh, yeah.
I went hot spot here, but I have to respect the tight ends. I went with Brock Bowers at number 9.
Okay, I have Brock Bowers on mine. I have him a little higher up. I don't hate that. I don't hate it at all. I think it's a little under-respected, but I don't hate it. Commish, you threw your hands up. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, I'm sick of agreeing with the fourth place finisher there. I've got Brock at 9.
My 9th is going to be the guy that was involved in the Caleb Williams trade. We had Cody talk about it a few weeks ago, but I have Bijan at the 9 spot. Yeah, like I said, I have Brock on there, but I think Brock's upside is higher than Bijan's. Bijan had a good first 2 years. I don't expect him to have, 5+ more years of top tier potential and output, but I think he still will have another good, very good year of output next year. So he's at my 9 spot.
Dalt, does he make your list?
He's on there. You got to respect the running backs. I think that's a tough position in fantasy. Tight end is too, but running backs, I feel like you got to have something. So he's on there. He's a little bit higher than that.
All right, I agree with Faye on 2 so far. Let's give you the chance to lead us.
All right, my number 8 spot is going to be Puka Nacua. I'm pretty high on Puka, but we saw the recent news of them possibly or most likely going to be losing Cooper Kupp. I expect them to get another wide receiver in the offseason, but if they don't address that wide receiver position, I could see him commanding a lot of double teams or a safety over the top. So I like him a lot, but I do think that he could I still see the same output as Puka from last year, but I just think there's other guys that are going to rank above him.
Yeah, totally fair. I have Puka on my list, so I won't cover it now. I got him a little higher as well.
Yeah, I got Puka up higher too. I definitely agree, but also I think as long as he has McVay tied to him, I think he'll always scheme to get him open, and they're always going to have a good offense, so it'll be interesting. But with Stafford getting older, you never know.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
and I liked Puka. I'm not as high on everyone else as him. I have a few wide receivers that are above him, and another guy that was mentioned, Brock Bowers, above him. But I don't think you can go wrong with having Puka.
yeah, so my 8 spot goes to a guy unmentioned so far. I've got Neighbors. I think one of the reasons that he's fallen a little lower maybe on my list is just the injury risk with a guy who's this dynamic. He's number one. One of my favorite number ones ever was Derrick Rose. Watching what happens when you're moving on your joints like that, it's not going to last. I love Malik Neighbors' game, but I don't believe that it's going to have value the way that someone else might because Puka is a specimen. He's physical and he can handle it a little more. Even with a few injuries, you can tell his body's going to hold up. So I have Neighbors a little lower on my list, even though I love the 21-year-old who can make any play on the field.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with Neighbors either. I have him higher up, but
Yeah, I have him way higher.
I think Commish.
At the 8, I had Stroud. I had him there. He definitely could be higher, but I just think down year last year, Diggs will probably be gone. He might come back, but he's older. Dell's going to be out all year. They're going to have to draft someone. Mixon's older. Their line's terrible. Another OC, so it'll be interesting to kind of see what he does. I have Neighbors way higher. I'm a huge fan, but
Yeah.
I think with Stroud, I think he definitely has the shot. It's interesting what they're going to do.
He's got the second year slump, like you were saying. For me, his game ages well, but does it age well from a fantasy perspective? We're getting, number 11 and then number 18 over the last 2 years. I could see that number 18 kind of dipping down to like top 5 status, or I could see it just consistently being in the 10 to 15 range, kind of like Mahomes this year, where yeah, he's good, but he's expecting to make the playoffs. He's kind of saving some of the run game if he's ever going to run. So I don't see the fantasy upside.
I think the thing with him is, he's got Collins to him, but like you said, I put him lower just because of I think that they seem like they want to run the ball. And Mixon's huge, and then I think they'll probably draft a younger kid somewhere with this deep draft coming up, so it'll be interesting.
I'm with Commish here. I don't even have Stroud on my top 10. I don't know. I agree. Like as a player, I think he's going to be very good fantasy wise. Really over the last year, I really valued those dual threat QBs, and you can see it here. Year 2024, he did increase that rushing output. But yeah, I just don't even have him on my top 10.
Lucia, hit us with a number 7.
Number 7 was a guy that you guys already mentioned, and for me, that's Brock Bowers. I think the tight end position, you have 2 or 3 guys, and then there's a massive drop off. He had a stellar rookie year. They got to be bringing in a QB. Even if they bring in more wide receiver weapons, I just always see him commanding the ball. And like I said, I think one of the biggest things for me was when I was doing my best was when I had Kelsey as in my roster as a top tier tight end, and I see Brock Bowers kind of being a difference maker on teams or on a team for Dynasty.
Yeah, I love Bowers. The TD variance on a tight end is something I look at closely when I go to draft them in a single season. And for him to only have 5 TDs and still be number 1 PPR is incredible. Over 100 catches for a tight end is amazing. The yardage, it all speaks for itself with different coaching and QB potential. It could only go up from here, in my opinion, and it's already at a floor that's amazing.
150 targets just kind of speaks for itself for a rookie and in that offense with that terrible surrounding cast around him. So, he's a stud. Nothing you can really say there.
All right, my number 7, I've got a guy on my own team. I guess
BTJ.
That's right. All right, so everything I said about Neighbors seems true here too. The difference being that difference of style. So where Neighbors might be going up and catching more difficult balls, might be someone who's kind of catching a slant and hoping not to get killed over the middle. BTJ's average target is a little bit further, and he has those bomb plays where he's getting 40, 60-yard catches for touchdowns. So I like that he's got some of those deeper plays where there's a little less injury risk while also having the reliability of the hands, the speed, the other tools that you need. And again, that 22, 21-year-old range. So he's a little higher on my list than Neighbors.
I like BTJ a lot. I have BTJ higher on mine. I think he's an absolute stud. I said it on videos before. I regret passing up on BTJ. That trade will always haunt me not having BTJ for that. But I honestly I talk about Trevor Lawrence. I'm not a huge fan of him, but I think BTJ is going to come back next year, another offseason to work with Lawrence, make that connection even better. And then if they add in another wide receiver that can kind of take off some pressure from BTJ, I think the only thing that worries me about BTJ is that when Lawrence plays, you see Evan Ingram get a lot of targets, a lot of catches. And even though, Brian Thomas should clearly be the number one in that offense.
Yeah, I think he became the number one toward the tail end of the year, which was nice because when you get a number one option status and then you get a QB like Trevor Lawrence who throws to the number one option almost every play, it has a healthy future. So that's actually one of the reasons I like it.
I have him higher too. He's just a stud, 22-year-old stud. And like I said, when Lawrence went down, you got stuck with Mac Jones, and he's pretty terrible. And I think he'll benefit. I think Ingram's getting older. Liam Cohen's going in there. Hopefully he can get to Lawrence, and hopefully, look what he did last year with Godwin and Evans and Baker. Just a great job getting them into the playoffs. So, he's just a stud too.
He really is. That offense will be fun.
Especially with Kirk back too. He's older, but he definitely can gain some attention underneath. So,
your 7?
My 7, I have Bijan. So I think I flipped with you, Lucia, with Bowers and Bijan. I think I have Bijan there. Definitely, it was a close call, but I think in a league with PPR, especially with the way the league's going so throw heavy, I think I got to put my receivers ahead of him. But Bijan just a little bit underwhelming. Offered the house for him when he was a rookie, and then trades him a year later for Caleb and a bunch of nothing. So. Bijan, good offense, ascending offense. I think their coach just needs to figure it out. But, he finally got some attention he needed. I think once they get Algier out of there and give him less targets, I think he can really take off a little bit more. 23-year-old running back. Tough to find a running back that gets consistent volume like that. I think he just kind of speaks for himself.
Yeah, this was my number 6. I'm going to let you hit your 6 while we're at it because I think we've said a lot about Bijan and that running back premium. I think he's going to be in that top 5 for his career until he's 29, 30 years old.
I just wanted to say one thing about Bijan before we moved on was that the reason for me I pushed him down was Penix coming into that offense. He was really able to start moving the ball down the field. They could play action way more because Kirk could not move at all. So for me, I just moved Bijan down a little because I think that offense is going to be able to move the ball a little easier, and he might not get as many touches as he did last year.
But I think the touchdowns might come up too, though. If they can
season.
Because what they struggled a little bit scoring touchdowns, and London got a ton of touchdowns deep with Cousins. So I don't know how many touchdowns did he end with?
14, and at the end of the year, 2, 2, and 2 to finish all.
Yeah, so he had almost half his touchdowns the last 3 weeks. Yeah. That's crazy.
All right, hit us number 6, Faye.
I had Puka there. Back to Puka. He's a stud. My only thing why I have some of the other younger receivers above him is I just think Stafford's older. But I really don't think you can pass up on a McVay receiver like this. With Kupp gone, he's going to gain more attention. But I think McVay will find creative ways, and I definitely think they're probably going to draft a receiver at some point in this draft, whether the first or second. I don't think they'll probably the first, but probably the second. They'll draft someone. And Demarcus Robinson looks relevant in that offense, and Higbee should be healthy. So should be interesting too. Maybe Kyron will get more love out of the backfield for Lucia.
We still haven't reached Puka on my list. I have him a little higher. Thomas, who's your 6?
My number 6 is Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back out of Detroit. I think Montgomery loses some touches next year. And Gibbs, like at the end of the season, when he was really starting to be that bell cow, just produced at a crazy rate. Dual, he can catch the ball, runs the ball, touchdowns galore. Like I'm very high on Gibbs. I know they're gonna lose Ben Johnson, but he's running behind a great offensive line, so he's number 6 for me.
Yeah, it's rare that I want to sell high on a guy because I see an amazing season, but I also want to buy him because I know he's going to continue. So this is a top tier player. I have him higher on my list.
That's my running back, so I of course have him way higher. But if you want to sell him,
My number 5, I can give you then. We have a new name as well. I don't know if he makes y'all's list, but I have Mr. Drake May.
He definitely makes my list. I got him a little high.
All right. So at 5, I have Drake. The part of me is trying not to put him higher on the list. I moved things around for him. As a Pats fan, I cannot put all my eggs in one basket, and this is just too risky for me to have to knock on wood in every way. I want him to succeed, and I want him to succeed at a high level. Y'all were ready to comp him with Herbert, and I was saying don't be shocked if he looks like Josh Allen as a trajectory. You guys shut it down, but you have him higher on your list, so I'm excited to hear why.
I have Lucia. You going?
No, go for it, Dalt.
I don't have May on my list. Kind of slipped my mind. I like him, but my thing is, I just think they have so much work to do. I mean,
yeah,
he looked good in his pieces, but they need basically everything. I think he's a project still. I mean, he's definitely shown flashes. I mean, I love him too. I probably should have put him in over Stroud or Caleb, but I like my time.
There's always next year. He's only 22.
Yeah, he's 22. He's had the hope. I mean, you just hope that McDaniels can kind of do well with them. But I mean, they're just a bad football team. They need a lot of help.
Yeah, I got May a little higher up. I mean, I'm a big UNC fan, and Drake May is the guy that potentially could make me a Patriots fan. I definitely want to see him succeed. To Dalt's point, I don't, all they're going to be able to do is add pieces. I don't think he can play with a worse roster. As he gets older and older, obviously, hopefully he continues to grow. But for having no pieces, the guy threw the ball great, still put up decent stats, runs the ball. Yeah, so I really like Drake May going forward. And this is one of Cloutier's, no offense to Clue, pretty much one of his only pieces he has.
His only piece.
This cornerstone list that we have up top here, like almost everyone has one. So did you guys both hit your number 5 here?
My number 5 here, I have BTJ. We've talked about him before. I really like BTJ. And I think he's going to have a really big year too.
Yeah, I have BTJ at 5 too. I think he's just a stud. I mean, and then with Cohen, hopefully he can kind of make him into a Godwin or Evans type. So,
yeah, for Cote, this is just, now he's got a stud wide receiver. He's got, I think, 5 years.
Definitely.
But we did see him trade away Josh Allen. So you never know. BTJ could be on the block next to
Everyone's available.
He was worried about Josh Allen's durability. Luka Doncic 2.0. Well, actually, Luka.
Hey, that's all right. I got the 1-1. We'll be okay. I'm gonna put my 4 up here. We already have it. It's Puka. Again, this is what everything y'all have said plays into it. He's got the best coach. He's got a QB that throws all the time. He's got a receiver that's aging. That's his number 2 guy who might leave the team. There's clear point that they need to get younger, that they need to get a little bit of help in there in a different perspective on things. So I really like the direction of the team, and we're only 23 years old and already producing when we play at number 1 receiver level.
Yeah, Puka was obviously a hot commodity this year. I think David probably got 10 plus offers for Puka. I don't mind this at all. I'm also, like I said, I'm a big fan of Puka.
Yeah, just stud, tough, contested catches, does it all.
Yep. Yards after contact. Like, he's going to fight every yard for you.
And he'll get his touches with McVay, too, like we keep harping on.
All right, number 4.
For me, this is where I have Drake May. I mean, everything that I kind of just said and we just talked about, I think, they're going to add pieces in this draft, whether they take that number 4 pick or if they potentially sell it for, 2 first rounders and, get some more picks. But you got to think they upgrade the wide receiver position. Gotta think they upgrade the O-line. And like I said, he produced very well for not having any pieces. But yeah, I'm really hoping that Drake May has a good season.
Not on your list, Dalt. So who's your number 4?
I have Neighbors here. I mean, we've touched on Neighbors. He's so dynamic in every way, and that offense, that team was probably about as big of a dumpster fire as the NFL has. And I mean, to put up those type of numbers and demand that type of targets, I mean, just looking at that, you have 18, 12, 15, 13, 13, 14, 14. I mean, it's just a volume game, and volume is king in fantasy. And I mean, he definitely gets the targets. Was that 170 targets? That's
Disgusting.
just an outrageous amount of targets.
50.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, like an outrageous amount of targets, and volume is king. You really can't, the more times you see the ball, the better chance you're going to put up numbers. And I mean, the guy's just a stud.
Yeah, I mean, that offense also doesn't have a ton of pieces. And so I'm looking at that target number to come down in the future and not go up. And especially when you're looking at just even with 170 targets, he was the 6th receiver. That's not a very promising sign, even though, of course, I have him in my top.
Yeah, missed 2 games also.
Tommy DeVito and all those guys throwing to him didn't help.
I think that transition. I don't know. Did you say your number 4, Cote? Because I was going to.
Yep.
You did.
Cool as my 4.
Okay, because I was going to transition. That's who I have. Neighbors is who I have at the 3 spot. Yeah, I think. I mean, like Faye said, Commands just. Basically, I wish I would have counted it as we were going over it, but he's seeing 10 plus targets a game. What is this? So he has 4 games under 10 targets. Didn't even have that good of a TD output, for how many catches he had. And again, I think they upgrade at the QB position. Another year to work with a QB in the off season, but I expect big things out of Neighbors. You can hit him with a screen pass that he can take for 40 yards, or he can run down, catch a 20-yarder, catch a slant, take it to the house. Yeah.
All right, Dalton, who's your 3?
My boy, Gibbs, just a stud.
Yeah,
nothing else. Love. I just think, I mean, Montgomery's been holding hostage, but I think once he got hurt last year, again, he showed that he can just handle the load. I mean, you just look when Montgomery was out, those numbers were just like, I mean, was that 28, 25, 26, 46? Like, just the guy's just putting up like ridiculous stats and gets a lot of targets. That O-line's great, catch the ball out of the backfield. I'm sure they'll keep a lot of Ben Johnson type stuff, depending on the O coordinator and what his things are. But I think they hired from within, so they're probably going to try to keep things the same. And that offense is loaded. And then Goff's always good for a check down too. So I think he's definitely.
I love the way he plays in a dynasty perspective. You're getting a lot of catches. And really, when I look at this, my favorite number that I'm looking at is this percent of snaps. I see that snap percentage at like 50% through most of the season, still producing. And then he finally gets up in the 60s. And when he touches 70, it's unreal. He gets to 66 in that final game with 46 fantasy points. And so what you're hitting on with Montgomery and just how they're going to have to commit to Gibbs maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, whenever it is, it's still in that cornerstone range of age. So if he's 24 years old and becomes the feature back, he's still ahead of some of these other guys. So I love the premium running backs. I like that you can get him right now. I mean, if he's my number 3 and you're trading me Neighbors for Gibbs, I'll take Gibbs in that.
Yeah.
Well, don't you have Gibbs? Would you do that trade?
Oh, I'm keeping Gibbs. I think with my roster the way it's set too. I mean, I have wide receiver university of underperforming wide receivers. I think I got to keep that around and just pray. I mean, I like London for next year. JB's got a couple good years. Hopefully Godwin goes to a good spot.
You don't want to hurt Neighbors' career by putting him on your roster.
I got him in my other dynasty, so he already killed me benching him in the semifinals. I'm never doing that again.
I imagine we all have the same top 2 here. Hit us, Dalt.
Yeah, I
got 2 and 1 because we already know.
I got Chase and Daniels. I mean, we don't really got to say much. This year with Washington, I mean, he was just ridiculous. And what I've been telling you guys too, like I think with Chase, I mean, with Burrow and hopefully they keep Higgins. I mean, Chase demands all these targets and demands the attention and still performs at that level. Burrow's 28 when he's healthy. I think he's top 5 now. I don't know what the league thinks besides me and you, Lucia, but I mean, I think Burrow just started. Hopefully that defense, because them in the playoffs would have been good. And then with Daniels, I mean, worst team he's probably ever going to play on. Took him to the NFC Championship game. And then they were in that game until the end of the first half when kind of they fumbled that kickoff and Philly basically got a 2-for-1 and that game was over right then and there. It got 3-for-1 and then even Daniels let him down for 3 at the half. Just my thing with Daniels is his poise is just like ridiculous. You would think he's been in the league for like 6-7 years. I mean, he's 24, but the way he plays is just so calm. You don't really see a lot of guys that are just so calm. They're usually antsy to get out of the pocket and stuff, but he just sits in there and just takes hits. And I mean, like I said, hopefully they get Cup or something. That'd be exciting to watch.
The big thing for me with Daniels is just his rush attempts. If you look at his rush attempts, I mean, I'm looking at it here. Dallas was whatever. I don't even think he played that whole game. But 16, 9, 11, 9, 7, 7, 3, 8, 8. Scroll up a little more, 6, 11, 12, 10, 16. Like when you're getting that many, when you can count on 5 to 6 points just from rushing and then the potential rushing touchdown on top of it, I just think going forward, like his dual threat ability is just puts him in a class of his own. And then Chase, I think.
What else can you expect though when you're getting 16 rush attempts and you're a feathery 210?
Yeah, I mean, he took some hits this year, and I mean, he had that game where I think he missed a few games. But I mean, regardless, he throws the ball well, and even if I can expect 5 rushing points out of him with those odd touchdowns here and there, I'll take it. And I think Faye touched on it. I think this is going to be the worst roster he plays with.
Yeah, and obviously I'm nitpicking, right? But this is a guy who could have a sophomore slump. And if he does, when we look at this top 5 PPR out of a QB, like, that's putting him somewhere in the top 10 across the whole league. But if he dips down to like that 10 or drops even 8 spots like Stroud, then now we're having a different conversation a year from now, even if he stays healthy. So just barring injury, I totally have him right there. And that's why he's number 2 for me.
Chase you have as the 1 then, right?
Yep.
I have Chase at 2.
Okay. I have Chase at 2.
Daniels at 1. Yeah.
I would be happy with either or. I don't think they re-signed T. Higgins. I think the Bengals have kind of been cheap. They could have signed Chase and then, that whole thing happened and they're going to, they're already going to be giving out max money to Burrow and Chase. I think they're going to end up letting Higgins walk and then Chase will just continue to be Chase.
Yeah, that's what I'm betting on with the one spot here is that they let Higgins walk. And ultimately, like, one of my theories with Chase is just that when a guy shows you who he is, believe him. And over a 4-year span for him to be this good, you see 13 games, he's still able to get over 1,000 yards in 22. Last year, he's able to get that 100 catch mark. And then this year, 17 touchdowns on top of it. So clear production, good QB. The next step for that team is just for them to have a little bit more support on defense. And I don't see that really hurting Chase's value. So the direction they're going, I still feel great about.
Yeah. I don't think you can go wrong either. I think just with Daniels and Chase, it's just interchange them really. Doesn't matter. I like Daniels for Superflex, but that's about it.
Well, I mean, as you see it on the list, we pretty much all had that same mix and match top 10. A few guys that might not have been on all 3 of our lists, but, this was something fun to do. Faye, we hope you had a good time joining us. It was a pleasure having you on, and we look forward to having you on again in the future.
I love it. Hopefully I'm back soon. This was good.
All right. Hey, always a pleasure, guys.
Peace. Is this over?
Yeah, I'm going to cut
it. There we go. Oh, it's still recording?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I'm going to cut it after the fact.